Political parties continue to market their candidates for 2023 general election. The people who appear to be politically conscious this time around will keep asking the necessary questions and demand a pact that will form roadmap to good governance. On the platform this morning, a close look at the programs and manifestos of one of the leading governorship candidates in the state. The People's Democratic Party (PDP) in Abia State, Professor Uche Ikonne, will be interrogated here this morning on the platform in keeping to the promise of ensuring that the people make an informed decision before casting their ballot. Welcome to the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion. My name is Ginika Olwaha. Good morning. Like every Monday, Wednesdays and Friday on this platform, this is what we do. We look at issues as they affect us as Nigerians first and as Abians. Okay, so welcome on board. Let's take a breather to bring you the political update. When we come back, you meet my guest. Stay with us.
This is Political Update. Ahead of the 2023 general election, a political economist, Professor Pat Utomi, is accusing the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) of not doing enough to ensure people obtain their PVCs before the 2023 election. Professor Utomi, in an interview, charged the commission to step up its effort on voter registration and the issuance of permanent voter cards (PVCs). He re-echoed claims that INEC can never be a fair umpire as it is perceived to be used by the ruling class, stressing that he will keep pushing the commission to do the needful in the interest of Nigeria's democracy.
The role that INEC has played in elections. There are some people who despair, who think INEC can never be a fair umpire, who think INEC is an instrument used for abuse by those who have power. I choose not to despair too much. Of course, I'm not comfortable. I will keep pushing them. I don't like the fact that voters registration is not continuing. I think that is an invasion of the democratic right of the citizen, but INEC likes to put bureaucracy above democracy. All efforts should be made to ensure that people are getting their PVC study registration. I don't think they're doing enough. I think more needs to be done.
Ahead of the 2023 governorship elections in Abia State, the Labour Party candidate Dr. Alex Oti has berated those he described as emergency opposition figures who he alleged were part of perceived misgovernance in previous administrations. Oti, who made the disclosure when he attended the birthday celebration of APC BOT member and elder statesman Prince Benjamin Apugu Numahia, asked the electorate to question the past actions of the candidates in relation to the promotion of transparent and credible leadership in Abia State.
The race is divided into two. The people that like what is happening or are part and parcel of what is happening in the state, and the people that have said no. It's too late in the day for some of the people who have always defended and have been part of the rot in Abia to now become emergency opposition. Let's call you by your name. Let's also go back to your past. What have you done? Did you contribute to the rot in the state? Did you defend it? Did you speak against it? If you can answer some of these questions, then we can engage with you.
Earlier in an interview, Prince Apugu charged Abia leaders of thought to take the front position in bringing elected officials to account while stating the need for the government to improve on infrastructural development of the state.
I am an Abian, but if you choose not to be an Abian and choose to be taking salary from government house to cage you so that you don't speak out, I will not recognize you as a leader. I know that this time Abians will not allow themselves to be confused because our suffering is beyond money. That is why I'm advising them that everybody now in Abia State should be able to take his fate in his own.
That was Political Update. I am Wisdom Thomas.
All right, welcome back to the program. It's still the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion. Before we went on that break, I told you that we will be looking at the agenda, the agenda of the PDP governorship candidate in Abia State for 2023 election here, and talking about Professor Uche Ikonne. So we'll be looking at his agenda for the people of Abia State. And I have here in the studio already a member of the PDP media and publicity team for Uche Ikonne governorship bid, Elder Kennedy Onyema. Thank you so much, Elder, for joining me on the platform this morning.
Thank you, Abians. Thank you.
Okay, I think maybe we'll just start with that statement credited to your candidate, Professor Uche Ikone, where he said he will not be a stooge to Governor Ipazu or to whoever. Was that statement correct?
Though somehow they tend to have escalated it beyond the context. But if you address it within the context upon which Professor made that statement, it will be more appreciable. What happened is this: he was trying to let people understand that in as much as the present governor is favorably disposed to him becoming the governor, that Abia should also understand that he is too old a man and too experienced an administrator to be controlled, in brackets, controlled by anybody. And looking at that, also from the statements credited to even the governor himself, you will also agree that the governor is not looking for somebody he wants to control. I have been privy to a meeting where the governor said it expressly that he is not looking for who to control. If he were looking for who to control, he wouldn't have looked for Professor Uche Ikone. He would have looked for any of his aides, previously or some other time. But then he's looking for a man who can deliver. He also made, in that same meeting where I was privy to be a part of, he said he's looking for a man that is better than himself. And I tell you, that is the dream and aspiration of every father, to have a child who will outperform him or perform better than he did. So I think it's on that prism that Professor Ikone tried to inform the people. Of course, think about it, a man of 66 years, an experienced vice chancellor, has been the former vice chancellor of a university. He has been a rector of Abia Poly. With all his experience, to me, it's an insult for anybody to allude to whatever guess or just wishful thinking that Professor Ikone will be controlled. What they may say is that he will work collaboratively with his predecessor. That is, I think if they should say that, fine, that's good, because that's what we expect. Government is a continuum. Just like our governor worked well with former Governor T.A. Oji, we also expect that Professor Ikone will work well with Governor Okeze Ikpeazu when he eventually emerges as the governor of Abia State.
Well, one would be wondering what actually necessitated such a statement, from Professor Uche Ikone there. Could it be that somebody somewhere is actually, maybe the present governor is listening to some people? That's why maybe he said, Professor Uche Ikone said now that he was not going to be a stooge to anybody. When you talked about the issue of age, 66 years. Is it all about age this time, or reciprocating a gesture done to you? The governor is supporting him. So what if the governor picks a phone today, or eventually if he becomes the governor, and call him, please do this? Are you saying he won't listen?
My brother, in Christianity, we always talk about destiny helpers. And you and I pray for that every day. You work with Flow FM, and I know somebody may have facilitated your coming to Flow. So that becomes your benefactor, as a matter of fact. So to a very great extent, you owe some debt of gratitude to your benefactor. So Professor Ikone, by the time he becomes the governor of Abia State, will remain grateful to Governor Okeze Victor Ikpeazu as his benefactor. However, Professor Ikone is trying to be very emphatic, and you will agree with me that is an act of uncommon courage for somebody who is still looking for something to openly let you know that I'm not going to be a stooge. However you look at it, I'm not going to be a stooge, but I'm going to be appreciative of this man who brought me in. But then, the good thing is, we also know who Governor Keze Ikpeazu is. He is not the man who will unduly want to take advantage of you. No. Once he hands over to Professor Ikonne by God's grace, I tell you, and I can tell you this authoritatively, Governor Keze Ikpeazu will not look back at what happens at Government House, except for advisory cases. So, of course,
so he will still have interest, because if you say he wouldn't have
except on advisory,
he would have
basis.
allowed probably the issue of primary in the PDP to just go the normal way, instead of trying to say, okay, this is my candidate, support him and the rest of them.
No, he if you say he didn't go the normal way, I think
what I mean in the normal way is probably allow everybody, not giving support to a particular candidate.
But then, if you check your records very well, you find out that Governor Ikpeazu didn't come out to give support to anybody until the primaries were over. It was some elders that nominated Professor Ikonne,
and he accepted him.
The primaries held freely and fairly according to the electoral provisions. So nobody will say that anybody influenced what happened at the primaries. It went freely and fairly, and Professor Ikonne came out tops as the best and the most favored candidate in that in that primary election. So nobody has come, and I can because I've been around. I know that the governor was very careful on declaring openly his support for Professor Ikonne until the primaries were over, and that was also so that there won't be any question of undue favoritism, as a father that he is.
Okay, I also learned that the prof said he's not going to owe salary if eventually he win. One will be wondering, how will he address this particular issue? I'm sure that before Governor Keze Ikpeazu came on board, he must have made similar. But today, look at what we're facing in the state. So if Prof said he's not going to owe salary, tell us how he's going to achieve this, especially where it affects backlog of salaries. Is he going to clear them, and how?
You see, if you follow the trajectory of Professor Uchenna Ikonne over time, you find out that he is is a special kind of breed. But before I go into that, I want to let you know that no leader will come to lead his people with a mindset to owe them. That is the truth. Except the person is coming from the pit of hell. Now, circumstances beyond one's control. Some of us also have had small business where you employ labor, 1 or 2 or 3. You find out that at times you want to pay your people, and something will just come up and derail your plan. And I think that's what has happened in the case of Governor Keze Ikpeazu. I am sure the humanitarian Ikpeazu that I have come to know, there's no way he would have been happy that some persons are being owed. And of course, you also can see that even though some persons are, especially the pensioners, are being owed some months, he also make it a duty to ensure that the civil servants are paid. And I tell you, if you are familiar with the economic challenges we're having in Nigeria, you know that ordinarily it shouldn't have been a big deal to pay workers, but it's becoming that big deal to pay workers. You are here, you are working for an organization, and I know that it's not all juicy for this organization to pay salary because of attendant economic upheavals. But then I tell you that Professor Ikonne is familiar with this terrain, and that is why we are very mindful, or we should rather be very mindful of who succeed Governor Ikpeazu, not people whose antecedents shows they have failed in their previous endeavors. We are looking for people who are successful or have track record of success in all their previous endeavors. For instance, Professor Ikonne was once in Abia Poly, and if you were here on ground there, you know that there were a tractable debt situation that he met. In fact, they called his venture into Abia Poly as rescue mission. That's what it was called. That's how the then governor T.O.J. addressed it as a rescue mission. And he went there, cleared the backlog of salary, and then they had a very tractable loan situation about 2 billion and that was gulping about 400 and something thousand every month for as interest. He came there, cleared that debt by sheer ingenuity, and then left the school. Within the few months he operated there, he left the school on a clean slate of debt.
Now, we'll still come to that.
Yes.
But I want us to, concern ourselves more on the issue of Abia State generally, because that's the position is going.
Yes, what I'm trying to let you know. So before you come in, I want to follow his trajectory to letting you know that he has done it before. He did it in Abia Poly. He did it in Abia State University. We knew what the state of Abia State University was prior to Professor Ikone's emergence as a VC. We knew how he left Abia State University, even though the unexpected COVID issue came to play, but still he ensured that nobody was owed. So if he could do it then, people like us who followed him then know that he can do it in Abia State. It's not going to be an easy task though, but it's going to take experience, it's going to take character, it's going to take tenacity, it's going to take courage to be able to pull us out, not just only in Abia, even in Nigeria, from where we found ourselves. But then the antecedents of Prof shows that he has the administrative acumen, he has the discipline, he has the knowledge, he has the courage to do the right thing. Okay,
I want us to
we are out of this wood.
Let us look at specifics now, because some of the government officials we've had on this program, they've actually blamed the issue of non-payment of salary on over-bloated workforce. And one will be wondering, how did we get to this point? Who actually employ these people? Hence, you're not able to pay salary. Is this particular issue, are we still having it? Because if we are still having it in the state, Prof himself will still have to face it. So how is he going to address this particular issue?
I must let you know, I don't know about over-bloated workforce. I don't know about that.
Okay, take for instance the one we had at Abia Poly.
Yeah,
it was blamed that we have so many staff there that do not do practically nothing, but they are being paid.
Yeah, but then you also are aware that it was also the governor who exposed that irregularity. It was the governor, Okeze himself, who brought it to the fore that some persons were employed undeservedly.
So who employed this?
And he made effort to downsize that. You are aware, in one of the committees he said to review the quality of education and standard of administration in Abia Poly. It sacked a lot of people, and they all were in a bid to reduce the workforce. So what I'm telling you is that he couldn't have been the problem and also come to solve it.
So will Prof sack people to make sure that he pays some?
No, it wasn't. I'm telling you how you were
the governor tried to
how the governor mitigated
so
that.
I want
issue.
to know this time.
Now, what I'm saying,
how will Prof address his own issue?
Now, Prof has an economic think tank that is already functional.
Okay, and
he also has his blue point, and he will always tell you he has done his due diligence studies. I'm sure he has an idea what the problems are. So by the time he comes in as the governor, he will be able to have a first-hand, real-time appreciation of the enormity of the challenges, whether it is over-bloated, as you refer to it, or whether it's non-productivity, whatever it is. But what I want to let you know is that Prof is going in as governor with solutions of Abia problem in his hands, and as soon as he get there, he will hit the road running. And I'm optimistic, and I want you to be optimistic that the Prof with such a very robust antecedent of delivery and performance will do the needful when he becomes the governor of Abia State.
Elder, you've been a part of this government. You were one time a special advisor to Governor Ipazo, and you know that in this state, each time the issue of non-payment of salary comes up, and the government will put up a defense like the ones you have at the parastatals are not called civil servants, hence they are being owed. The ones you have in the ministries, they are pure civil servants and they are not owed. Tell us the plans of Prof. If eventually he becomes the governor, how will he address this? Because so many people believe that the present governor has not demonstrated the political will to address this particular issue.
You have been assertive.
No, I'm just telling you what people think.
You have been assertive, and I take exception to that. One, because Governor Ipazo has performed creditably well. And I tell you the truth, and I say it unequivocally, we have not had it so good. However, we have teething issues of consistency in salary payment. Now, those call and the non-call used to be the narrative long time ago, advocated by one of his aides. But those things are no more in existence. Dr. Kezie takes responsibility. Mark my word, he takes responsibility of every employee of Abia State. Nevertheless, he makes it very clear that especially for institutions, for those institutions that are self-funding, that they must take parts of that responsibility to get their institutions running. I remember then I was also a member of the media team of this government. When Professor Ikone was the VC of Abia State University, we were using him as a model of an administrator, because whilst other agencies were struggling to pay salaries, Professor Ikone was having an up-to-date salary payment, and we were asking them, go to Professor Ikone and find out what he has done differently. So the governor is always saying, think outside the box and see how to generate resources to pay your workers. But then he is still as compassionate as he is. Of course, you are aware of his intervention in Abia State University Teaching Hospital, how he paid backlog of salary. He did that again for Abia State Poly. My brother, the truth is that ordinarily should not be the core responsibility of the government, because these people also generate resources and revenues, internally generated revenues. One should have also interrogated, like you had them say. You should ask them, what do you do with the internally generated revenues you collect? What do you do with the subventions that are given to you? So the question is, something is wrong, that the governor is not resting on his oars. If you are aware, he reconstituted the other day the Abia Poly board, and he warned them that they should find a way to sustain what the wind of change that he has already initiated, and ensure that the over-bloated workforce, if there is anything that exists, is taken care of, and that the salaries are promptly paid. He charged them, and
that's just a charge.
And he's expected. Of course, he has charged them. That is his duty as chief executive.
Okay, he will leave it at that.
No, he has machineries to follow up. Okay. He has machineries, and of course, you remember, at a point he suspended them, and now he has called them back, giving them a second chance, and then of course there are those who follow up to know that the right things are done. So what I'm telling you in effect is that the governor is doing well. The salaries of all workers, as I'm talking to you now, have all been paid. Okay. Now, these issues will be, you as a journalist should also help to interrogate some of these agencies.
Because we are looking at the plans. Is it that Prof would do same, just like what the governor is doing? I mean, his plans to make sure that these parastatals are not owed. I mean, the workers there.
Prof has said it. He said it in one of his speeches he made that was released. That was very, very popularly, cascaded. He said that, look, I'm a proud man, and I will not be comfortable to give responsibility to my employees if they are not paid. That's what he said. So that he will ensure that they are paid and on time too. There's what they call corresponding, loyalty or corresponding responsibility. Prof said, I will give you what you need and ensure you give me corresponding value for what I pay you. And of course, I'm sure Prof knows the enormity of the challenges we have in the economy of this country. And he's upbeat and will do the needful to ensure that nobody will be owed by God's grace.
Okay, if you're just joining us, this is the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion, and we are looking at the agenda of the PDP governorship candidate in Abia State, Professor Uche Ikonne, and my guest has been Elder Kennedy Onyema, a member of the PDP media team for Uche Abia governorship bid. Well, we'll take a breather now. When we come back, there are other issues to talk about on the platform. Stay with us. All right, so welcome back to the program. It's all the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion, where we talk about various issues. And this morning, we are looking at that particular issue where it affects the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party, the PDP, in Abia State, Professor Uche Ikonne, and his agenda to develop the state. My guest has been Elder Kennedy Onyema, a member of the PDP media and publicity team for Uche Ikonne governorship bid. Welcome back to the program, Elder.
Thank you. Hello. Thank you.
Let's. You've talked so much about your candidate, Professor Uche Ikonne, unexpectedly. You've said a lot of good things about him, especially when he held sway as the VC of APSU. But many people want to disagree with you that he actually owed salary like a year before he left that place. Is that true?
It's not true. It's not true.
He never owed, not even 1 month?
He didn't owe, except that month he left. Now, what happened is that the COVID came, and of course, you know how everywhere was then. He still sustained the salary. But then, remember also the workers went home. Everybody went home, so they were not generating income any longer, But then anybody said that Professor Ikonne, the records are there.
And he imposed a kind of COVID levy on the students.
He didn't impose. What happened was this. The students came after they had stayed at home for a long time. They started making effort to come back and say, look, we are ready to pay some amount of money to enable you get some things that you need to prevent contamination of this disease. And they came to the school authority. Of course, if you remember, the government house then with the students who themselves advocated for that payment. But then, you know what leadership is? Shortly after that meeting, people went on air that Professor Ikonne was the one who imposed. He never imposed. It was the opinion of the student union leaders.
Okay, now let's look at the major focus of your candidate if eventually becomes the governor. We have issues here and there in Abia State. So what will be his major focus if he becomes the governor?
What do you mean by we have issues here?
Like with the ones we've highlighted here, non-payment of salary, the loss accreditation of Abia Police, and so many other issues. No. Even roads. If you go to Abia North today, some local government don't even have one single road project from this administration. It's an issue. So there are other issues. Tell us, what will be his major focus to address some of the issues we have in Abia State? Except, of course, you're telling us that we don't have any issue in Abia State.
No, I don't like it when we escalate the negative and underplay the positives. It will be in fairness. When you say there are issues, you also acknowledge the fact that the Governor Bazo has also solved many of those issues.
We are not really talking about the governor. No. He has solved out his term. We are talking about the people that will take over from him.
I'm taking you.
Elder, you know that these people that are coming to take over from the governor say that they are going to do this, do that, and that because they believe that there are areas that they've not done well. So that's why I'm asking, yes. What will be the focus of your own candidate?
Fine. Now, I want you to understand that Governor Bazo has made the work of Professor Uche Ikonne easier. Before now, we didn't have it on record that over 150 roads were constructed. We didn't have it on record. And those roads that have been constructed will not be reconstructed. They might be maintained, yes, but they won't be reconstructed. For example, the Osokwa Umeja Road will not be reconstructed. The Uruka Road that leads to Governor will not be reconstructed. Those roads have done. So also other more than 150 other roads. Now the flyover, this one will not be built again unless another one will be built. So we'll now be counting second, third flyover. So Governor Uchikone will be a very lucky man by the time he takes over in 2023. However, he is also desirous to up the ante and improve on what Governor Bazo has done. That's why he has what he calls the 3 pillars of development that is predicated on participatory governance, economic development, and responsible financial management. These are his 3 pillars. And what do you mean by participatory governance? He has said it over time. This one is not monkey they walk, baboon they chop. You have to be involved and productively before you will earn from the government. There must be a corresponding input of service, of productivity before you will receive money from the government. And he's going to deploy, even if he said it, that this there will be no case of special advisor, SSA, who just come everybody, you loiter around the government house. You will have a job. You will have a job at the grassroots, either at the local government or in your ward. All those schools, government schools, either you'll be a supervisor. There will be something for everybody. That is participatory government. Everyone will be involved. The women will be involved. The youth will be involved. The men will be involved. There will be economic development. Of course, that's what we will be talking about. The economic development will entail the things improve. We will have more opportunities for companies to come in. Maybe you will look at some of the moribund companies that we have and see how to reactivate them and build a new one. There will be responsible financial management. This one is key. Frugality is very, very key in sustaining the economy of any state. Professor Ikone says he's going to be frugal with the people's response, fund. And I tell you, and I can tell you credibly that he has the discipline and character to enforce that. And he also has some other enablers. He has some other enablers that will make the ease of doing business. He will say he was going to make sure it works. The social infrastructure development, roads will be built, and so many other things will come into play. So what I'm saying is, given what foundation the predecessors of this government, let me tell you, we must give it to whether former Governor Orji Carlo, whether former Governor T. Orji, they've all contributed one way or the other to the growth of Abia State in their own little way. But I must tell you that Governor Ikpeazu had a frontal developmental policy that has also benefited from this state. So what Professor Ikone will do is to leverage on what all these former governors have done and build a more sustainable state that all of us will be proud of.
Okay, Elder, I listened to what you just rolled out now, and I didn't hear much about the youth. Maybe creation of jobs for youth, or he doesn't have any program for the youth.
No, I just give you the core pillars.
Okay.
When I say participatory governance, of course, I mentioned it, that he said he is going to involve the youth, he's going to involve the women, he's going to involve the men and all adults. Everybody is involved. But what he's saying now is going to impute meaningful productivity in order to reap whatever reward. It's not a question of you sit at home, you're in America and you want to just put in some money and say, no, you have to work and get. So whether you're a youth, everybody will equally benefit from the government of Professor Uchikone.
Okay, I think it's time for us to allow our listeners to actually make their own contributions on the program. But before we open the phone lines, let's remind you that there's every need for you to apply caution. Please do not call in to abuse anybody personal attacks. We don't accept that here on the platform. Just go ahead, make your submission in a most civil way, and we'll have a better conversation this morning. The numbers to call are 080-8182-6949 or 08116052949. You can go to our Facebook page and drop your message there. And my guest has been Elder Kennedy Onyemba, a member of the PDP media campaign team for Uchendi Abia 2023. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, my distinguished speaker. How are you doing this morning?
I'm good. And you?
Honorable in the studio. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, my dear brother.
Okay, yeah, I remain Comrade Christian Chamber Conversation on the South.
Okay.
My honorable, let me believe you are standing at the point of the truth. Continue doing that. God will bless you.
Amen.
Let me say, Mr. Speaker, the governor of the state is doing marvelously well. Go to Abia today, you will see that Abia is coming out in a civilized way. Look at the flyover. There was a time we were having a lot of expression, tamponage. Okay, that flyover. You can remember there's something we call social investment program that's going on everywhere now. So the governor of the state is doing marvelously well. Look at the state secured. So the issue of salary, people that pay salary, all these things is just fallacious or police statement. So I totally condemn all those things that they're talking about. The government is saying. Now let me go to.
I think you've made your point. Just allow other people to call because there are other people who are waiting. Thank you so much. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, welcome.
It's Ikechukwu, from Omar.
Welcome, Ikechukwu, go ahead.
I believe Professor Eliza Ikone is a member of the PDP and they are flag bearer for governorship election in Abia State. Can you honestly me as a candidate PDP, a member of PD, and as really the IGR allocation of this state since from 1999 as we speak, and the project on ground and the complaints of salary, pension, and overview, and still believed that Abia has a moral justification.
Ikechukwu, just repeat your question.
Do you believe with the total allocation of this state since the 1999, your party has been ruling the state as we speak? Both your IGR matched together and the performance on ground and the plans from the salary earners and pensioners.
Okay.
And they believe that Abians, and honestly, will match to the pool and give you a vote.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Ikechukwu. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Gedeka.
Good morning, welcome.
Good morning, our guest.
Good morning.
I'm calling from Oman.
Welcome, go ahead.
Please, I want to candidate.
Please speak up a bit, Chinedum.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I want to lead our candidates who are vying for one position or the other, make themselves available in media. So that, because I know there are the many people that have the idea, the essence, the reason why they are contesting. So that if there will be any question, they can address it themselves because they have the main idea themselves. Then my question this morning, we have seen the enormous challenges that the present administration is facing or they are facing. What is it that Professor Ikone Eliezer is going to do differently to improve the ITR of the state?
Okay.
How is he going to do to ensure that the pensioners will be receiving their payment as when due, because most of them are living under drugs.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good
morning. Welcome.
Thank you. Eda, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
God bless you, my brother. My name is Owokwe Chidebere, and I'm representing from Aro, Okperen Ubende LGA.
Welcome. Go ahead.
Elder, you said it all. Prof has a lot from the Abia. The only thing I'm urging Abians is to go and pick their PVC for Professor Uche Eliaza Ikone. Certainly, he is going to be our next governor come 2023.
Okay.
And Ginika, let me not forget to tell you that Governor Kezi Ipazu is committed for the welfare of Ndi Abia. As he has always promised that, certainly he will finish strong.
Okay.
Leave all these court petitions that every 4 years they will come and be fomenting trouble. Trying to look for who to, cheat and all. Who cannot allow them to do that? These are emergency politicians.
Right.
After now, you won't see them again.
Thank
Please,
you.
Let us focus on important issues and give Professor Uche Eliazi the power. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chidebere. I think, Eda, do you want to react to those ones? Maybe. Okay.
Okay, let me just react to the man who asked what Professor is going to do differently to improve the IGR in the state. There is a statement that was credited to him, Professor, recently, where he told us that he will still retain what we have as area today, but he's going to build a new area market. You can see that's a
new one.
Yes, he's going to build another area market, another area market.
Okay.
But the one that is existed now will still be there.
Okay.
He will build another one and give the people the opportunity to either move to the new. Of course, he said that the infrastructure there will be so attractive that many of them will want to go over to that place. That is a man who is thinking about the IGR, who is thinking about the welfare of our people. Now, he has also said it many times that Abians should hold him responsible for every thinkable that comes into their purse. Prudent management of resources. Of course, you and I know that we've had, if not this period that Governor Kezie came, we've had this multiplicity of revenue collection. It's now that we are beginning to streamline our revenue, thanks to our brother Mark Atasie, who is heading that area. So there is going to be improvements. The IGR currently has improved. I'm sure if you check your record, you find that the IGR has improved so far. Prof will just leverage on what is existent. Of course, everything is automated. The Keke, the Okada riders have a way of paying, and the system will generate a voice for them. Okay. So this is what they are going to improve on. And they have promised us, Prof has promised us that he's not going to let down the Abias. He's going to make sure that whatever the infrastructure we have now will be proved upon, the institutions and all that is needful for a better economy will be strengthened, so that our IGR will prove. I also want to add, he said that Prof should make himself available to the press. My brother, Prof is never press shy.
So when are you bringing him at least to the studio so that he can interact with
he will sure come. I've also
just like this statement you just made as regards to area building a new market. It's good that the candidates come themselves. I think that's the point they call actually, so that you hold the person to account. Whatever thing the person says, well, we'll remind him later, please, sir, you said you're going to do this and this and this.
But then, even these statements are also in public space. Okay. So, coming to radio station, he will come. But then, he is always there. He is always having functions. The press men are always there. So, they report him real time.
Okay.
So, he's not media shy. He's not media shy. With time, I know there are programs in this line that where you begin to appear on radio stations and TV stations. Okay. Just be watchful. That time will come.
Okay, let's take another call now. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Speak up a bit, please. Okay, we lost that call there. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good
morning, welcome.
I'm calling you from Bend. Good morning to you again.
Good morning, Alva.
I want to align myself with your submission. What Abia needs now is somebody that will consolidate on the gains we've made so far. Let us take our minds back in 2015 when it was sounding change Nigeria, and look at where we found ourselves. Governor also have laid a basic foundation for a sustainable economic growth of Abia State. So what we want, somebody that will work in that track, not some people who will come and destroy the already gains. And if you're looking at Professor Ikone, he stands tall among we have so many candidates that are good, but one is more better than all of them. And this is Professor Ikone. Look at his administrative experience.
Thank you, Alvan.
We need now to, move Abia to higher heights. Have a nice day, Jenny.
Thank you so much, Alvan. Hello, good morning. Hello. Good morning, welcome. Move away from your radio set, please.
I moved away.
Okay. What's your name?
Yeah, Bishop Andes from Petela by Sukwata.
Welcome, Bishop.
Let me say, the truth is that when Professor Ikone was in Abia Point, he owed the staff. When he was in APSU, he owed the staff. In fact, that the president is admitted. So I am a pensioner, and the present government is paying me over 40 months arrears. How can they convince me to support them? That is what we are saying. It's not enough to come on air and say what is not correct. What they should do is to come now and then, February, let them pay us so that we can be happy and cast our vote. We are dying for crying out loud. How can somebody be telling you that Dominicans are the truth? Maybe we are suffering. I'm a patient. I know what the pains I'm passing through. Let them pay us or else we won't support them. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Elder, before you react to that, you heard what one of the pensioners just called now. I want to also get your views as regards to the position of your candidate in the area of his infrastructure plan for Aba and other local government areas of the state.
Let me start from other local government area. Prof has said it repeatedly. That's going to break that dichotomy of that what I may call regional dichotomy, or zonal dichotomy, old Aba, old Bende. He's going to evenly develop all of these areas. So that needs help. Now, let me tell you, Prof has a data. As we are talking now, there are persons in the field scattered all over the state. Their job is to gather the data of the roads, the infrastructure, whether moribund, whether active, in all of these communities and the local government area. The essence is when Prof comes in as governor, he will specifically stay one place and tell you there's a road in Isukwuato. This road in Isukwuato, so kilometers of road between here, this neighborhood and this neighborhood. We are going to fix it. He will have all of these. He will have all of this data at his fingertips. Now he's going to follow up to ensure that they are all delivered. In Aba already, like I said, a lot has been done. So what he needs now to do is to improve on what the governor has done. The areas he has not touched due to paucity of fund, he will now get into areas. In fact, Governor Ibadan has made his work a lot more easier. Let me also talk about the pensioner. Honestly, I feel for you. I have pensioner parents. My mother, my father are all pensioners. So I feel for you, and I tell you the truth, Governor Ipazo has your compassion. He has your sympathy. And he will, by God's grace, he has said it many times, he will ensure that some of these backlogs are settled. So just keep faith and trust. Like you said, I will also expect you to come back and tell us, oh, it has improved and we are going to vote for Prof. I don't know where you got your facts. Maybe because you're angry that your pensions are not paid. That's why he said the fact is that he owed in APSU. Go and verify your records again. Prof did not owe in Abia Poly. He did not owe in APSU by the time he exited as VC and director. Please correct that. Check your source.
We've had the opportunity of interacting with some of the staff at APSU, and they confirmed that he actually owed. But that's not the issue.
I want the staff to give me his name.
No,
let him call and give me his name. Yes, so that we can verify his source. Credibility of source is very important. Somebody cannot just come and make allusion.
Don't worry about that.
Without
you don't need to know the name. Just address the issue. But let's go to the Facebook page. This one is coming from Wachuku Kennedy Chinedu. He said, Good morning, everyone in the studio. It's now obvious that the PDP in the state since 1999 had failed woefully. Okay. In all ramification, how can this current government be owing workers up to 117 months? This is totally unacceptable, ungodly, and inhuman. Anyway, I'm urging all Abians to be patient because the Egyptians we see today, we shall see them no more. PDP must be dislodged outrightly and domiciled in the... Okay, thank you. That's your thoughts. Ezekiel Elvi said, let's be sincere and honest with ourselves. Okay, Azo-led administration have not done absolutely well in the areas of salaries, pensions, arrears, and gratuity of workers in Abia State. He should endeavor to leave a legacy worth emulating after his tenure elapses because a workman deserves his wages. Abia should get ready because 2023 won't be business as usual. Thank you so much, Ezekiel Elvis. Favor said, this present government has done nothing to deserve going back in power again. They are all talking about Abia. What happens to Umuahia, which is the capital of Abia State? We can give PDP power to rule Abia. Are they the only party meant for this state? Let's try another and see how they will rule us. Thanks. Well, Elder, we need to leave the studio now. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Elder Kennedy Onyema is a member of the PDP media team for Uchenda Abia campaign organization. Thank you so much for being part of the program this morning.
Thank you, Ginika. Let me, if you allow me to...
30 seconds, if you can.
I want to encourage Abians not to lose hope. We have leaders who have the fear of God, who also have the interest of the people at heart. If there are gray areas that seems not to have been well taken care of, and I tell you, few months, we'll still have few months to the exit of Governor Ipazo, and I know the governor we have will do everything possible to make sure that those get. But then that man who says the workers, no, it's not good when you generalize comment. It's not the workers, for Christ's sake. As I'm talking to you now, civil servants are paid. Yes, I know that some couple of persons are owed, but then those are more of the agencies. And I know efforts are making to sanitize those areas and ensure the right things are done.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. And sincere thanks to all of you who listened, who called in, and who sent your messages. Thank you so much. May God bless you. Wizzy, thank you. Stanko and Nedu, the guys behind the camera, thank you so much. And to my producer, Samson Eze, may God bless you. I'll see you again on Wednesday at 10 a.m. on the platform, the pinnacle of all discussion. My name is Ginika Olwa. Let's make Abia better. Good morning.